Go.
Hi, I'm Mr. Boom. I'm the advocate. I'm the passionate advocate for grass-fed beef and local sourcing of food. You know, the American consumer has gotten very accustomed to the heavy feeling they feel when they come out of a traditional burger fast food chain, and that's something that we are against. That heavy feeling is a result of many things. One of them is, of course, the quality of the meat. When your stomach is processing fillers and additives that it wasn't meant to process, your stomach is you're gonna have a reaction to that. I didn't know about grass-fed. I didn't have any sort of inclination towards grass-fed beef. I was completely unknowledgeable in it. But the first time I had it, my wife's uncle brought over some of his grass-fed raised beef, and I was blown away by the flavor. You ask anybody that has sampled Boom Boom's burgers, you'll hear the same thing over and over. It is delicious. The food, you feel great when you eat it because it doesn't weigh you down the same way that something that's beef that's raised on grain, because grain-fed beef has much higher fat content in it, and it's the fat content is a little different than the fat content in grass-fed beef. There's a lower melting point in grass-fed beef's fat, so you get to see a lot of that fat burn away. It doesn't give it a lean flavor. I wouldn't describe it as a lean flavor, but it's a juicy, beefy flavor. It's very delicious, and when you come in and try one of these burgers, you'll agree that we're definitely cooking up some of the best burgers in this part of the country. Do you believe that, I guess, the types of grass will affect the flavor of the beef?
Yeah.
Like dramatically?
I think clover has the biggest effect, maybe clover and alfalfa.
Okay.
Because they're legumes, and they, if a cow gets a pretty good percentage of legume, the fat will tend to be kind of a yellowish color. And that's the most delectable fat you ever put in your mouth.
Wow. Man, you're making me hungry, man.
And of course, when you grind it up with a burger, you get that flavor too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a soft, buttery type fat. Whereas an animal that's fattened on grain, their fat's going to be white, it's going to be hard and chalky.
Right, right.
And that just, it's all the difference in the way it feels in your mouth, the way it tastes, and how it works in your body too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
These major producers and corporations that have sprung up over the past 50 and 60 years have developed systems where they can produce more at fractions of what a small time producer can do, and at the fraction of the cost as well. So we're starting to see the movement now that's kind of been brewing in the West Coast, kind of starting to make its way here on the East Coast, of purchasing locally from small time producers. And what this does is it's really feeding the needs of our consumers today. Have you ever had to deal with antibiotics with any of the cows?
Mm-hmm.
Never been sick enough to the point where...
I had one that was injured last year, in fact, and the injury didn't heal up too quick, and the veterinarian wanted to give him an antibiotic, make sure it didn't get infected, so I went along with it.
Yeah.
just for treatment, and usually treatment is rare when they're pastured and under
Yeah.
healthy conditions.
It's the only time I've ever had one treated in 15 years I've been doing this.
Yeah, that's funny. Joel said the same thing. He said,
Yeah.
I said, will you use it if they need it, if they're sick? And he said, well, I've done it before, and it was once, and that was 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And out of my, 25, 30 years of farming, I've never done it since.
Right.
So that's amazing. That really is amazing.
So yeah, that's just more of going along with Mother Nature.
Yeah.
If you do things the way these animals lived in the wild, and let them eat fresh forage and don't stress them out, then they're going to be healthy. Because otherwise, they wouldn't have made it through the millions of years of evolution.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to really understand how consumers are today, we kind of have to look at the past. And one of my favorite YouTube videos, and I've posted this on Twitter. Check me out at twitter.com/BoomBoomBurgers or facebook.com/BoomBoomBurgers, is the old Wendy's commercials from back in the 80s of the "Where's the beef?" Okay? And if you look at this, really what this message is, and you really dig below the surface, you see it's really a deep reflection of the cultural desires of our society during that time. And in the 80s, our families and the major consumers at the time were very concerned about getting more for your money, okay? And that's evident in these commercials where these old ladies look around and they're getting ready to bite into this big hamburger, and they open it up and they got a little hamburger, probably a 30-second size of the hamburger bun, okay? Whereas a lot of these chain restaurants allocate their budget towards marketing and real estate, Boom Boom Burgers is putting the bulk of their dollars into fresh ingredients.